Okay, I'm preparing everything. Так, let me choose. Oh, okay, let's try start from this one. Yeah, so I just organize my stream. Just 5 seconds, 1 minute. 1 minute for preparation. Not yet. Yeah, share to Twitter. One more second. Today we'll draw, use also watercolor. Oh, I little lost my voice. Okay, yeah, so today I want to, as usual, but also we'll use we'll use some shading color. Yeah. Yes, I little lost my voice. Oh. Так. Так. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so again using my screenshots from Cyberpunk. Так, put the microphone more close. Так, okay. Yeah, so today we'll show other technique, which is most one my favorite. Так. So here. Так. Yeah, so here it's like same. Let's start with perspective grid. We have Y axis, y-axis is little tapering to the top. Так. Then horizon line. Так. Somewhere here. Так. Let's see. So, and here is vanishing point. So, I do some lines here. Так. So this time we'll use little watercolor. Так. Actually, I like to make it little curvilinear perspective grid like this. This way, perspective grid is better than just thinking about vanishing points itself. Because perspective grid, you can perspective grid, you can twist, you know, you can move it to bend it, so it gives you like much more freedom. Так. Okay, much more flexibility and stuff. And here will be like this. So this is like for x. Yeah, and here above too. Let's do like this. Maybe stronger. So we have like curve z axis and curve x axis. Так. Okay, so then here I need to little like now on the stage what I'm looking at, like when my grids is ready, when I know how to say no, like I have this, I established space basically, right? So I established space, I establish now this grid, which I will just snap all my lines of three-dimensional forms, and then next what I thinking about silhouettes, and in the kind of, let's say, like location in the space, like according to each other, right? You know, like kind of like I don't want things like crash into each other. I want to be sure like one thing's here, one thing's after it and stuff like that. So like here we have this car is like around here, right? Then we have this road, then we have this more far road, and here's this bridge. So we have like a layer of a distance in a space. So I kind of looking, I want to be kind of correct with this thing here, and also I looking at silhouette, so like simultaneously, like overall shape, overall silhouette, because here main, I will zoom in, you can see main point of interest here, like most kind of striking thing for my consideration here, it's silhouette. You see how beautiful this skyline, this silhouette of buildings of this city, right? Like all this, like, and gap between buildings. This we can see sky and far view. this silhouette, it's very nice kind of focus. It's a very big focus here. Main composition tool kind of element here in this picture. So now when I ready with my perspective grid, now I consider this silhouettes. And again, as I tell before, I don't try to copy it. I kind of stealing from it in a artistic terminology, right? Like this book, Still Like Artist. I just looking for cool, efficient moments, and I want to kind of grab them for my picture, because afterwards it will be only my picture which people will look at. They will not compare it to any reference, you know. It should work itself. Так, let's mute this. Так. Так, so I also thinking here. Also, hello. Hello, Praetor. I thinking about this tree. Is this necessary to draw or not? I'm not sure. Also, I can like kind of change it a little bit. So here we have our car. I kind of simplifying at first, simplifying its shape. Just, and also kind of I change. It's kind of, you know, it's kind of interesting thing when you purposefully change image from reference. You change, when you do it purposefully, you change it the way you prefer it to be, you know, like you draw it in a way you like to draw things. But when you do it accidentally, then it's always not as you wished it to be, you know. So this is kind of this trick. As more as you draw, more you realize you cannot draw perfect picture. It's always will be something odd and wrong, right? So better take it in control. Better take mistakes into control. Instead of like trying to make perfect picture, you also make mistakes consciously, you know. This kind of very important to understand. You think not only about making correct, but also about making wrong. And this is kind of main difference between amateurs and professional. Yeah, this kind of not perfect stuff is what also is kind of element of your personal style. So it doesn't mean it's like to be like let's say it's different from being like kind of just justify your laziness and stuff. No, it's about just to kind of, how to say, to be able to see true, accept true, you know, like, whoa, this is real life. It's like you will all your life you will draw, and I believe it's like it will be these moments, these glimpses, and these details, tiny things when you're like, wow, it's like so exactly as I wish it to be, but it's like some element inside work. But to make whole perfect, I think it's impossible. I never hear anybody reach to that. Only some breakers who will like break in, like say like, oh, I'm doing perfect work and stuff, but they just like break in, and with you can see they're just actually opposite. They're super average, you know. You can make perfect average work, but you cannot make like perfect, interesting or amazing something. Так, okay, so it's here. And this why it's also like this difference between like engineering and art, because like in engineering, yeah, you need to average kind of thing. I mean, in terms of like it should do work, it should to be consistent, and like it must be strong, firm and stuff, effective. It's not about originality or emotions and stuff. So, but in art, if you take like efficiency and perfection, that's main focus, then it will lost all sense. Yeah, agree. Yeah, perfect. It's kind of, yeah. It's just kind of wrong concept for artists at all, I think. You know, it's like fails. It's completely fails. It's unachievable, and it's like even hard to describe it. I mean, like you need to write a book to explain what is perfect. So it's this kind of, after all, like it's kind of becoming this thing. It's like an achievable goal, because you don't really know what you're aiming at, and this like eating you from inside is like kind of like, I just want to be everything correct and stuff. But it means when you kind of considering everything, you losing kind of actually, you losing main thing. And then it's afterwards it will be like a question, like if there's no any focus on something, then what was the point of drawing, of doing these things, right? You are like trying to do everything, and so what? Так. And this is kind of what I usually thinking about and working on it too, because it's some this kind of amateur habits to just chasing pointless things. It's like, yeah, like also talking about like trying to be likable, trying to make everybody understand or like you or your work. It's kind of same pointless goal, pointless purpose, or let's go. Так. So you see, I trying to make this silhouette just to make it like on an abstract level, to make it be impressive on an abstract level. It should to have some like interesting quality to it. And about this is also talk a lot this artist. Let's show you. Howard Pyle, for example. No, actually, all this like how they call golden illustration era or something like this. Like this, like it's basically it's like start from Howard Pyle's. How I understand. Oh my God, I'm horrible in history. It's no, but you know, like this have a book with like a master artist, how they call, like master academy something, and all these artists there, like Howard Pyle and oh my God, forgot names. Jesus Christ, forgot all names. So anyways, they're like kind of talking there about these shapes, just making no, it's like a classic artist. So I mean, thing here is just you see, I was copying them just like to practice these shapes. It's to make very cool, impressive silhouettes. Like they just should to work themselves. Like here they have these 3 values, so have this like white shape. It's like a spot on a, no, it's kind of similar to impressionistic, but it's like abstract, you know. So you make some figurative, you make some realistic picture, but you consider it on many layers, like perspective, color, right? And also it's like abstract layer about this spots, about these shapes. So like here we have this gray, dark and white shapes. It's like so crazy cool things, like just 3 value, and you kind of make this abstract beautiful picture. I mean, because it's like on an abstract level, it already looks beautiful, you know, but different from abstract artist who will be stuck on the abstract level, right? Realistic artist, he go into realistic result. He will finalize it to make some story in it, to make some narration, right? So later, like when we make all details and stuff, we inside all these spots, inside this abstract composition, we can recognize like a pirate. He's standing with this like a rifle, and there have all these details like a gold, and like we can see like some landscape behind and the clouds and stuff. So you know, this is how it works. Idea is abstract composition. It's aiming for your subconsciousness, for viewer subconsciousness. Abstract thing, it's emotion, it's impression. And this realistic details in all this realistic like narration stuff, it's for our consciousness. It's kind of like explained for viewer, like why he looking there, what he looking at, like our brain can say like, oh, why you already standing 5 minutes and looking at this picture? And he say, yeah, because I'm looking in some certain event, like it's some like story about somebody doing something somewhere and blah blah blah. So your brain say like, oh, okay, I understand, it have sense. But if you just standing and looking abstract composition, your brain will more like uncomfortable. He will like kind of, what why are you looking at, why are you wasting my time? Why you wasting my kind of resources of my attention to standing and watching all these stains on a paper without any message in it, without any data and stuff? So this how it works. At least need to know how it works. So me also, I was like kind of many years ago, I was understand this thing. It's like when I draw landscape, like artistic thing, it's this abstract. It's about this impression. It's about these feelings and stuff. You want to make people feel something. You know, you want to like kind of make this roller coaster for people. Like they were like whoa, crazy, whoa, and he goes there, and to make cause some feelings inside him, make some reaction, emotional reaction and stuff, you know. This is work of artist. But to justify it, to give like people brain, kind of trick their brain to make this reason for them to stay and look at this picture, to make their eyes move inside your picture, you draw all this details, you draw all this information so their brain can focus on it, you know. He can say like, oh, I'm looking at dog, oh, I'm looking at bird, oh, I'm looking at tree, you know. Brain kind of very, conscious brain is like sometimes very primitive, you know, so like kind of need to do it simple for him, like drop this seed, so he like a chicken will like oh okay, I see something, I look at something, and he will like jumping around picture like, oh, I look there, I look here, you know. And if you like, okay, yeah, I'm so happy, I'm kind of absorbing some data. Yeah, so is this what I'm talking? Like you say, Praetor say it's more about composition and values and shapes. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like values, shapes, composition, uh, perspective. All these things is kind of a guts of a picture, right? It's like this abstract level, abstract dimension of any picture. And this is real work of artist. This thing is a real artist work, not to draw chicken or tree or cloud. No, this is very easy to learn to draw these things. Don't be tricked by this amateur kind of point of view and like say like, whoa, can you draw cloud? Oh, can you draw apple and stuff? No, it's not the point. It's like how you draw it, what quality you will give to it. You will draw apple which will make you scary, or you will draw apple which will make you cry, or you will draw, you know, this apple will remind you childhood, or is like a cyborg apple from future come to kill you and stuff, you know. What kind of meaning, like emotional reaction you imply, you kind of inject inside your work. And all this made by these techniques, kind of colors, composition, all this abstract level and constructive level stuff. That's why it's important to study such things. Yeah, it can be like okay, it can be like apple, you know, which in the story is like maybe it's injected by like biology weapon from Putin, you know, and like in, you know, in the story, oh my god, this is like very toxic one, and it's like can cause like thousands of deaths and stuff, and like for people like who will follow the stories, he will see this apple and it will trigger a lot. And it's, you know, is this how it works? Like we like it's technical in the movies, like creating symbolism. Like they say, have like amateur level is when you use some No, when you just kind of making story without any metaphors and symbolism, it's like super amateur and primitive. Like second level is when you are using some playing with the symbols and like common symbols, which is everybody kind of know, you know. And the master level for movie makers, I talking about movie makers, for example. Master level is when like movie maker, this director, he create new symbolism. He making special symbols which is like mean something when you watch this movie. So it's like, for example, like in Tarkovsky movies, he have apples and water like a river or sea. So in his movie, apple and the water represent life. So it's like people eat apple. It's like when their life kind of is full and great and they happy and they so kind of apple kind of represents this how's it called, prosperity kind of, right? So you have all this life can give you, and water is like your no, actually was water representing death. Yeah, opposite. Yes, apple represent life and water was represent death, because was like when people going into water in his movie, it means they're kind of going to afterlife. So this kind of symbolism which he make it put feeling in it, and for people who watch his movie before and after they see this symbols, they will trigger them in a way Tarkovsky want them to be triggered. It's also how meme work, right? It's like making of meme. You make a meme and after you just make some implication in inclination to this meme, and people already remember all this like history of the meme they seen with same kind of pattern, right? So it's kind of thing. It's like, so my point again, I back to it, is like art is kind of real task is to manipulate people emotions. And you can buy this book. It's great book about this also, like for beginners, like it's give like very quick idea, and actually it's very good book, very professional. It's how's it called, Framed Ink. You should read this. He explains it's very good. And I kind of keep studying this book. It's like this kind of book which you cannot absorb from a first reading. You need to read it more and more and practice. Yeah. He also has this like series of books, and they all actually very good, like framed perspective, framed something like a drawing. And I have his new one, Framed Ink 2. I need to start reading it. Oh, so many books need to study. And this kind of thing is like, again, like I say, is from my experience, it's not something you doing right away. I keep reminding these things to myself, and it's like, kind of, come on, bro, you're just drawing without any idea, kind of. You just drawing some object. What the point? It's like, oh shit, I need to kind of draw. I need to remember this, like, impact. I need to focus on impact. I need to always kind of keep it in mind. If you doesn't have any like metaphor or impact behind your picture, then it's kind of, no, it can be only like training of drawing, technical drawing, that's all, but it's not like artwork, you know. It's like, okay, this was good exercise, but it's not art. It's just practice drawing something. Так. Так, oops. So also like copying other people's works, it's also help a lot to, in this way, to trying to understand how they make their impact, how they create this like wow feeling, you know, when you personally kind of watch some artist and it's like, wow, so crazy, like, and when you copy him for this kind of reason. You're trying to understand first of all, it's like, where is it, like how he made it to feel you this amazement, and this how you can learn from him these tricks. And I learned like this a lot, even without drawing, even when I was just like looking at some artist work, and I was thinking like, kind of, wow, like how he make me feel like that, what in his works, what exactly made me feel like that. And when I have this question kind of in my mind, like brain somehow he will really find this moments, find these points in his work and say like, okay, these things make it works, and then I will kind of use it in my drawing. And this how we learn. You cannot kind of invent all these things. You always actually will copy it from other artists. And this kind of harsh truth for you, because there's already so many artists everywhere and so many art everywhere. So actually it's impossible to invent anything here from scratch, you know. It's not exist. It's no like blank slate here around you. You filled with all these images made by somebody. So you should learn it directly. Так. Так, let's see. What do we have? So also Miyazaki, he say about this. He was copying a lot of in his beginning of his career. He was copy a lot of this famous Japanese artists. I forgot name. 1 second. Famous, who draw like Atomic Boy. Somebody remind me. It's a famous artist. It just has this problem. Sometimes just forgot name. But usually I know. So he say he like was angry when people always like remind him, say like, hey, your style like exactly like his. And Miyazaki is like angry, say like, no. And then he actually, when he grow up, kind of he say, yeah, of course he say, because just he was amazed by this famous artist, so he consciously or subconsciously he was kind of copying from him. He was like reflecting his style, because he say, yes, like children kind of come into this world, they doesn't own anything, they cannot make anything, and they doesn't have anything like property, or they don't own anything, so they always borrow. You come to this world and you borrow from others. Same with art, you borrow from this artist who was before you here. It's inevitable kind of fact. So you should to accept it and do it also consciously, kind of, without like fooling around, like kind of like, oh, I want to find a way how to be original. You will be original like eventually, kind of accidentally, but not from beginning. From beginning it's impossible. And even like I have this video on internet, called how they call it, something about myth of originality. It's like it's no any originality at all. Everybody was borrowing from somebody else. You just didn't know original reference. That's all. This is how it actually works. You think this artist super original? No, it's just because you don't know his inspiration. And more you like study, more you can see this roots of everybody, and who was inspired by who. And it's also kind of, I think it's kind of giving you this important relief, so you don't worry much about this not important things about like being original. So it's like I say, I even like write this quote here. Yeah, not original but personal. What is really important is just to draw something what is personal for you, like what is touching you. Так, this one horrible. Okay. Later I'll fix. Так. Instead of looking for originality. Так. John, you're here? Are you here? Oh, or maybe I just go to audio channel in Discord. So if somebody want to, yeah. So if somebody want to join my Discord talk, can come to chat. Today my voice is a little lost. Так. Yeah. Hi, John.
Hi.
Ага. Cool. Так. Yeah. Just somehow I a little lost my voice. I don't know why. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe
I hope you
sing. Huh?
You lost your voice?
No, little. I don't know why. Maybe like little cold. Так. You draw now? Or something?
Yes, I am, just a little bit.
Oh, cool. Так.
I'm finishing up a drawing right now. I'm gonna post it in the Discord.
Cool. Okay. Так. Yeah, this building very funny. And also in this Cyberpunk game, I see a lot of inspiration from Hong Kong. No, I don't know actually. Maybe it's also maybe Japan probably looks similar too. It's interesting. Have you seen the movie Ghost in a Shell?
I haven't, but I've wanted to.
It's very funny because this Ghost in a Shell movie, they use a lot of Hong Kong locations. It's like it's kind of many real places there where they just put little computer, how it's called, CGI above it. But Hong Kong itself is already like crazy cyberpunk. It's like 80% in this movie it was real Hong Kong views. So funny. Так. Okay. Okay, yeah, maybe I will write also if somebody want to. Oh, no more people in Discord. Так. Oh, I will try in case. Так. Everyone. Так. Так, let's see some window. Here, window. Так. Так. Maybe I put some color here. Some color here. Also what have this I think I will put him on this Discord. He have very cool workshop about composition where he also talking about this composition of silhouette, and they're like all this how to organize light and shadow. It's crazy. It's like Robert Watts or Jeff Watts, I forgot the exact name.
I think I just saw that. Bob Watts or Robert Watts uploaded a video.
Yeah, because they have like son and father, so he's and I forgot always who is Robert and who is Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff is Robert's son.
Okay, yeah, so then Robert, yeah, he have very cool also he have Instagram where he posts like his pictures, like very traditional illustration. like old school. Something like oh my god, school. My voice like a dinosaur, like this Jurassic Park. So here it's so crazy. It's like it's very interesting. Like again, I want to show. So imagine it's like these lines. It's like we have this grid, right? So in here, so I know if like lines of a box kind of on a building, they like will follow this grid, like here, vertical or horizontal here, or this way. And then if we have some curvature and stuff, but in same time I also thinking about silhouette. So we have this like lines, right? So kind of shape and silhouette. So we have this like negative shape here, right? And we have this line itself. Like what is the shape of this line? It's like have this long one, then we have this cracks, and then we have some details, and again long line. It's like how you organize this variety, so it will be like interesting variety, not boring one. Not it's like when like repeating same again and again. It's kind of boring, right? When they have something like this, it's more interesting. So you kind of also spend some time to practice this, to make like interesting lines and have these interesting shapes, like here, you see? It's like itself is like interesting silhouette, empty space here. And then when you start to draw details like inside here, right? It's also like you need to consider it like relationship to let's see, I'll show you. Like we have this silhouette here, something like this, and then I start to draw in silhouette inside silhouette. Like oh my god, don't just like try to make it something. So I kind of consider it together like this, like I'm doing silhouette here, you know? And at same time I consider it like part, like also like silhouette here. So it's like silhouette inside silhouette. Cool?
Very cool. So when you're outside, or when you're looking at a screenshot, do you look for those interesting silhouettes, or do you kind of design it yourself when you're drawing it?
I look and I use them. I'm not copying them, you know my point? So it's like, because I need to be sure it looks interesting on the paper. Because maybe it's in reality, it's like, it can be like little boring, but it can have some very cool idea in it. So if I just like little change it, it will look crazy. So this how it works, because you know, like in the reality, for example, like in a real view, you walk on a place, right? So we have this call, how they call? Wait a second. When different layers of distance moving, it's called.
I think parallax.
Yeah, parallax. Yes. So, and when you walk, it's like kind of you can walk 5 steps, and because of parallax, basically you will have like 10 different compositions, you know, of same place. Because like some different layers, some building will like half outside, or like it will totally out, and you will see gap between this building and far building and close building, you know.
Yeah.
So this is my point. So, and when you on a real place, you kind of, you can move like this, and you will see this parallax, you know. You can see like from like little different perspective, little different angles, and you can, like when you standing, right, you're drawing like what you see, but you can combine what you see right now and what you saw when you was here, or what you can see if you will move down and look from this point. So, and this all will be true. So, and you can kind of combine these different point of views and put together. So you can do it like this. You can, you know, if you're like camera, like robot or something, you can just walk around and like, capture all these different moments. Or you can just change it yourself, like move buildings around yourself, you know, in your picture, like because in real life it's not stable itself. They all change. All view is change all the time. You know what I mean? So when you see some like these shapes and stuff, if you little change it, you make it wider or shorter or like more kind of complicated or more simple, it's not like you're doing it wrong or you're drawing wrong view. No, it's kind of all inside this range of real place, because real place itself is super unstable. But important, like how we perceive real place, it's we perceive it like, again, like I was still talking, as impression. It's like something, some points of attention, some points of like triggers, some triggers in a real place which make you feel, which give you experience of this place. Like in a park, what is park for you? Park is like, maybe it's like trees, some particular trees. You can like mention which kind of tree if you understand them, right? Also it's like sound of birds, sound of water flow, something like this, you know, sound of like leaves and wind, and then you put these elements and you create in park, in your movie or your picture and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is how artists work. He like thinking like, what is this place, or like what kind of, what is this in experience point of view, in experience way, what make this experience of this place, some sounds, feelings, smells, particular maybe shape, like kind of round shapes, angular shapes, and etc. etc. It's like many kind of things. It's just like guts, like I say, like this guts, or like it's called in the writing like between words, right? Something between words. How's it? Meaning between
the lines?
Between the lines, yeah. Because in English you just have different... in Russian we say between words. I don't know, actually also between lines. Yeah, I forgot everything. Okay. Так. Yeah, so here you see, again I show you, it's interesting. So I look what this have here, and I just thinking how I will put it for my picture. And this is just best approach from my experience, like, because it make me it make me satisfy, kind of make me feel like, oh, it's like I like result. So you see here on the left these diagonal things. Okay, we'll move this here, and this how I draw them here. I absolutely don't care of original. I care it only in a way like kind of I want to take cool part of it, but not right one. Так. Some kind of Так. Maybe truck.
Alright, so I'll need to go for just a bit to eat dinner, and I'll be back soon.
Okay, sure. See you soon.
Soon.
Yeah, enjoy. Так. Так. Oh, have a clouds. Have a clouds here. Так. Yeah, so I also remind for our viewers, I remind about our charity. You can see link in description for my donation alerts. All money go to support our volunteers in Ukraine, so they're it's a group of people who are buying food and deliver it to people who right now in Ukraine and they like cannot evacuate for some reason. It's like can be like old people or immobile people, or they have many other reasons they cannot go out, you know, maybe they even don't want to leave their house because of war. Anyways, they have problem now with food. It's a humanitarian crisis. So our friends, our volunteers, they they buying products and stuff. You can see links in description for page and Patreon, and also have this donation alert. You can donate some money, so they will go for food to these people. Yeah, so we'll very appreciate. They even risk their life there because it's still constant bombing and shooting there. Some even one volunteer was dead. And I see news like yesterday their car was like a shot. I don't know how it's saying English. Like some like Russian army was destroying their car they use for delivering food. So now they also need money to find a new car, to buy a new car, or hope somebody will provide them car. Anyway, it seems like it's a lot of things every day happen, need to dealing with. Yeah, so if you watch a record of the stream, you can see Patreon page, link in description, and it will be great if you can donate something like $5 and stuff. Yeah, now I think I will make a comic book about... No, I mean, I definitely will make a story about this war and about reason why all these things happening. Like, seems like we're living in a civilization with all this culture and technologies, but it's still so many violence in the world, which is actually absolutely not necessary. It's just brutal force caused by maniacs in power. And it's like, I believe it's like one of a big misconception. It's to justify such thing anyway, any way like to tell such things have a reason. It's like no way to avoid military conflicts kind of and these wars around the world. No, actually absolutely opposite. It's not like cannot avoid them or like they're necessary or stuff like that. The reality is that they're absolutely not necessary. It's absolutely nonsense. And while people keep believing it's something like normal and reasonable, this will keep happening. People kind of need to remind it again and again how pointless and useless idea of making this um, hot wars, with all this running people around with the guns shooting each other. It's insane. It's like really caveman stuff. Should be avoided completely. Just need to destroy this idea of effectiveness of this thing. Like it's like how people say, when it's some peaceful time, when people forgot already what is war, then they start again like this talks about how war is can be necessary, or it can be like romanticized, or it's like can be effective, and this all the nonsense, until they will again realize is don't have any result. It's just pointless. It's just waste of every like resources, and it's like pointless killing and death of many of peoples. And is more than that, is this years, decades of broken lives, of this like hatred and fear, what is following all these wars. Just read yesterday this quote from Leo Tolstoy. This incredible. It's like he telling exactly about what is happening right now. Same thing again, repeat and repeat. Oh, I need to make this picture here. Так. So now I was thinking, don't go too far in details. Так. here I want to make track. Okay, so now we'll erase this pencil. And let's see. Whoops. Так, okay. Okay, so then take some watercolor. So I squint. Let's see. Is this like is here? Like 3 values, like middle, light and dark, gray, white and black. So let's see. Also, I want to consider like warm and cold. So here we have warm light. So every area under open sky, under sunlight is warm, and everything in the shadow is cold. So I will cover first. First, I will cover everything with a little kind of yellowish color. So this also, like, you know, in watercolors, this use first like just little water on the first layer to defattening, just to clean paper from fat, because I was touching it with fingers and stuff. So I make it first like this warm color for light areas, and also I actually kind of cleaning all surface from fat stains. They're kind of invisible, but they can make it little some. They can be annoying when you make in color, and they're like having this fat stuff. So then need to wait to dry. While it's dry, I can show you behind window view. Here is a construction site behind my window. Here's remind I'm in Taiwan. So here's like new district. I love it. It's very cool. Have all this. No, we have here white streets and a lot of parks. And it's still construction here. Doesn't finish yet. So it's noisy a lot. Так. Так. Let's see here. Ah, John is back.
Hello.
Yeah,
I like
you're
your
back.
window view.
Uh-huh.
So they're building something out there?
Yeah, we have new buildings in construction. It's like right behind. There's a road. It's kind of new area here, new district, and it's still building stuff. Так, yeah, so I was talking about light and shadow. So okay. So now I did this first color very, very light, like kind of this yellowish, light yellowish for background. And now I will use some like bluish color for shadow areas. Also, Krenz, he talking about this very well, about about this shapes like light and dark. It's called Uh, oh my god, I need to check. It was a very cool theory about this. Need to double check. Refresh. Need to refresh all this. That's why it's cool to make tutorials or talking about all this stuff, to refresh these things in the head. Так. So first. Yeah, maybe I make dark. Yeah, maybe I will do dark now, so it will be like for a good contrast. Так. So now I kind of making this abstract composition of shapes, like tonal shapes instead of linear kind of. Так. So it's kind of important to practice this idea of unifying all this gradients, all this variety of values, unify it to three major values, like light, middle, and dark. Because then, when you have these three major values, then you can like make these variations inside these values. And it's like a very, very, very big difference when you like have a lot of volumes, a lot of values, values, a lot of different values, different tones, but they are organized on three main groups. Is very, very good quality doing it this way, instead of just trying to, instead of when you're just considering each value by themselves without grouping them. So there's like first like main group, it's light and dark. It's first two main group, and then like on a more like complex level, it's light, middle, and dark. And step number 3, it's when you're kind of put details inside these values. And it's like just like 2-hour video tutorial from Kranz about this. He gave a very, very good idea how it works. Так. Так, some wheel in the shadow here. Maybe I cover all wheel. Also, this step is actually not for like black and white pictures, for color. It's for coloring. It's first step like this. It helps a lot to make coloring later. Так. So I looking at this, you know, like it's also snowman rule. When is like big spot with this dark value, and where is like small one and middle one. So it can be like where is one united spot and where is this like scattering small shapes. So here is like I think like okay, I want to make it more united, so I will like kind of unite it to one big spot like this. It's again it's just considering it as spots, not as like windows or anything. More shadow here. This one. This one I'll put also in a shadow.
Oh, it looks completely different now when you're adding tones to it. It just makes the drawing pop out instantly.
Cool. Yeah, it's kind of thing is always more impressive when it's colors and tones, right?
Yeah.
But also also it's kind of important to have something like this. When you see, I'm doing like kind of very simple thing. Instead of kind of going into small stuff, I just using almost like one value. It's just like little have variation here, but it's just like one color, one value, right? So when you have this kind of simplification, it make it pop out, kind of. That's what I mean. Like unification, simplification. This kind of important, because when it's not simplification, when you're not use limited tools, limited palette and stuff like that, then it lost this impact, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Can also. So also because I did a lot of this stuff mistake kind of before when I was going right away directly to colors instead of thinking of like simplification and groups. So, but then I learned, actually, no, I will try. I hope it will work out this time. But it's like it's work when you just first in watercolor when you first just put some value, and after you can little add color to it, and it will look kind of colorful, and colorful, and also it will have this harmony, color harmony, because we have like group in here. We kind of organized it, make a tonal composition. So also squinting helps. So why I squint is like I want to silhouettes be readable. So if I see like building maybe like this one too bright here, I want it to be like a little more darker, so it will be like perceived as one group, one compound, kind of, right? So it will not like feels like broken into pieces. So in this again, it's kind of so many simple rules, which is actually very powerful. It's like it's just about this. It's like you want things look like separated, or you say you want them look like something whole, one unite thing, right? And you're just doing it by you just choosing, kind of, right? So it's like I want this thing to be separated from this bunch, or I want to unite it with them. So if I want to unite, then I will little darken it, so it will more related to this group. You see, now it's part of this group. So kind of simple basic things, but people just don't consider them, and it's like kind of you need actually so many time to work to understand kind of these simple things, like it's so simple, why I didn't do it all the time. Same like same a lot, I tell again, like you it's like something now you can notice. It's same trick everywhere. Like you draw people face, you draw people portrait, right? You can make somebody face. They use it in the movies, in any kind of visual art. You can make somebody face look like broken into pieces, or you can make somebody face look like very unite and like one solid thing, and you doing it purposefully for make some impression, right? Like kind of like somebody like shock or like broken, like, and you will show it by putting this light and shadow and like break it so many details, like this which like make his face like separated into these details, so he's like kind of lost or broken kind of feeling, it's crazy. So it's just like only thing is just is a lot of these things, but they're very simple. So we just need learning them to be aware of their existence, to be aware of kind of what tools do we have, and when we practice these tools, we get accustomed to them. Like this. Like a technical worker, like electric man, for example, somebody, like who have like toolbox with many tools, and when he often work, he can get necessary tools very quickly. Like, just, okay, it's here, he even don't look where he grab it. Same kind of with us, we just like learn all the things, then try to use it, and after we're doing it's like automatically very quick. Because like also have this thing, like when you read some book like Framed Perspective, for example, or any other. Huh?
I was just saying, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, or any other like kind of cool book you read, like, oh yeah, whoa, so like mind blowing. I understand so many stuff now. My life will never same again, and all this stuff. But then you're at this point when you actually need to practice this your new knowledge, because if you don't practice them, it's like kind of you still cannot use it. It's just some like, oh, cool moment for 1 day or 1 hour. I feel like I'm became like I gone to the next stage, onto the next step, but then eventually you realize actually you are not. It just was an illusion. To be really on the next stage, you need to just like do this boring thing when you're like implementing this thing for a bunch of times again and again, something you already understand, but you repeat and doing it again and again until you make it like part of your nature. If you didn't do this step, if you didn't do this kind of boring job of practicing these theories, then you will never practically reach this. You will not able to use this knowledge kind of. And many people, like amateurs of course, they're kind of disappointed on this moment when they kind of realize they actually can't do anything. This is kind of how they call it, like expectations and reality. You read stuff, you watch stuff, you like kind of start to feel like you're understanding things. You go to different forums where you comment other people artworks, you tell them like, oh come on, what is here mistake and their mistake, you think like you already understand everything, but then when you try to draw yourself, it was like kind of, oh my god, I cannot draw at all. Yeah, reality check. It's like that. Так, okay. So now we'll make more colors. So slowly I try to go into more colors. Take some paper. Let's try. Так, let's see. Так. Cut. Так.
Does that pen just have water in it?
Yeah, this one it's like it's have water inside, and when I squeeze, it's like going into brush. It's like when you go outside to draw, it's kind of very handy.
Wow, this is a dumb question. It's just ordinary water, right? No special art water.
No magic water here. Так. Yeah, so you see, it's just kind of it's something like doing in the Photoshop. I use very low opacity to colorizing kind of this value I did before. So I kind of like this technique most. It's making this able to have soft colors and give me control over whole process. Because practically it's kind of blue color now. I mean, it's blue sky, right? You cannot say it's not blue. Right?
Yeah, that is 100% blue.
Yeah, but it's almost zero of color actually, right? You saw it's like first it was this value, and then I just little colorize it. That's all. It's like in a Photoshop using, it's called gradient map. When you make grayscale first, like for whole your picture, and after you put on above you put some colors, and this like gradient became colorized. You know, this is very funny. Так. So let's see. Now we have Because this way I can like, let's say, it's like I taking out color from it, and I'm making sure, like, again, like about this attention, like how much color actually I want to show, because more colorful it is, more it's take your attention. So sky need to be like super light, super soft, because I want it to be far away and don't take much attention. Like kind of contrast rule, like more contrast, more attention, less contrast, less attention. Так. So I also put some like variety of colors instead of using one color. I like to have it like little, some area is little orange, some area is little pink. Kind of this. But still it's like they're kind of warm colors. That's the idea. This color so complicated. Yeah, so colors is like, for colors usually I think most important it's yeah, I hear it's even from one artist very cool artist, who like fantastic painter. You see, most important in colors is actually to keep this contrast of warm and cold. So you first of all you need to know where is a warm color and where is a cold color, and you can make colors like super wrong, but no, and this will be no problem at all. Problem only when you're making warm color instead of cold, then it's kind of feels odd. But when you make like little different color, it's okay. Just thinking how much contrast give to it. Look this. So look. Acid colors. There's this car.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Cool. Yeah, so I just kind of try to see where is cold and where is warm. So it's like this warm like yellow green, and cold is like blue cold. Так. So it's cool. It's very interesting thing, interesting point. Again, like about focus of your efforts, right? Instead of focus on idea of making like right color, you focus on you better focus on idea of making like to know where to make cold color or where to make warm color, and control value, like how light and dark it must be. So because this is most important, it's like light, dark, and cold and warm. Because here all these colors is absolutely, I don't know, but it's totally different colors. Like I just made up all these colors. Так. Yeah, here.
Oh, well, they definitely look good. I love the blue over the shadows.
Cool. Yeah, so I think most kind of, for me, most difficult thing in color and landscape, it's to have this harmony. Don't make it too many different colors, and it's became like, you know, like kind of cartoony. So this try to keep it balanced and to have like accent on the right places. Так. Okay, so now we have this blue, and can put this blue around, so it will be like how's it called? Like a reflected on a bunch areas. It's also kind of some composition rule. When you have one color, you need to repeat it in a different areas in your composition. Так. Так, let's see. And it's also cool to have this previous background color, because you see it's like kind of giving this how to say it became in this nice background, right? You can see.
Yeah.
So like we can see often in this artist in the comic books when they have like this color, and also some kind of behind background unifying color, which is make it like kind of part of this environment. So this how it works. This, if you follow this kind of sequence, you will have this quality. And it's interesting.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, is this how you always do coloring?
Not always, but it's like I want now to practice more of this approach, and it's kind of my favorite one, because this way can do like really complicated illustration, very realistic kind of, you know. It's like can do very realistic and detailed color picture with this technique, because afterwards also can use white gouache for some details above. I will show you. I have some example of previous work like this. Так. Так. Yeah, so I see here it's a lot of blue and orange. Now I kind of realize. And see, they just have like different saturation level. Some place blue very strong, some place it's subtle. Same with orange. Like on the ground it's like this gray orange. But some other place we can see these orange lines, very saturated. Так. So I think kind of maybe this orange and blue is like Cyberpunk trademark, like colors, special colors for this game. Because always like also this like visual designers, they thinking about how it's called, like visual how to say
Kind of reminds me of Tokyo.
yeah, so that's what I mean. It's like for me it reminds Hong Kong, because I never been in Japan, but I think probably Tokyo looks similar too. It's like this because I see so many Japanese artists, like they draw pictures. It's like it's very similar to Hong Kong.
Thank you. Great. It's like everything they do is just meant to look. It just looks amazing. You know, in Japan, I was reading up on. I don't know if this is true or not, but I was reading up on how they think about art
And how they
and
think.
work. Like, yeah, like it's part of their culture to
Uh-huh.
always. They say always try your best at everything.
Ah.
You know, here in the States, if you try your absolute best, like you put your all into something,
Uh-huh.
those are the good artists. That's an exception. But like over there, everything is spectacular. So if you look at Tokyo at night,
Ah.
it's all these pink and blue lights everywhere.
Interesting. It's like it's like their tradition, right? So they're like really living this way to like aesthetic lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the same what I was thinking too, because like it's like so many, like their average artist level is pretty high.
Yeah, I have no idea how they do it.
No, it's just like a culture. If in your area art is something like, if have high status, then it's more likely like more people will be into it. But if it's something people like don't understand what the point, like why you wasting your time drawing this everyday stuff, like what the point, how much money you will make from it, or like blah blah blah. There is like not about money, it's about itself, like you're making picture and then like it make you like it gives you high status by itself, by being kind of artist or doing art, it's kind of Asian thing, I think.
Yeah.
But like when I was like in Hong Kong, they don't have actually this there you really can see that money is in the first place in general. So it's like they give like, no, I mean practically, like if you realistically look in the overall situation, it's a very small and marginal place for art in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
It's not like a tradition. It's not tradition. It's like hobby kind of for people there.
That's the same way it is here in the States.
Yeah,
it's art. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it should be something like when it will be like more important than guns for people, like then you will see kind of difference. Like, will people like, hey, look what I drew yesterday, like, whoa, oh my god, man. how did you make this color? Yeah, I just did. I practice every day. You kill it, man. And like all these details, technical details, like kind of like what people. No, I mean it's kind of how to say, it's gossip kind of thing about America. People love guns, but I think it's kind of part true in some areas. Right, but like kind of like, no, like men in general can be like kind of into this stuff, like know all these technical things about gun and cars and stuff, without being kind of professional. They just love it, right?
Yeah, everybody loves their guns.
Yeah. So and I think in Japan, at least like I seen it in the China. I seen it in China. It's like this high status of artists. It's really high status. So it's like if you sit and draw on the street, people will like gather around you with like smart faces and it's like, mm, like you know, like it's not like they're like in Russia, like in St. Petersburg, it's like a lot of artists. St. Petersburg, if you know, it's a lot of artists there, and it's so freaking annoying to draw there in the street because it's always somebody, some guy will come to you, will give you like advice or like telling you like, ah, come on, like, why you make this color here? Can you see it's different? Or it's like, oh my god, you should do more practice, or you know, like, how many years did you do? Blah blah blah. It's like, oh my god, this was worse experience for me to draw there because like people like judging you and give you advice, and you feel like, oh my god, I know I'm bad artist. Why you keep pushing me? And but no, in China it's little different. People will gather around you and they will like kind of, it's like they want to be part of something luxurious, you know. It's like happened something like high class thing happen here, and now they can show how much they into this thing, like, so, oh, I'm so good at understanding art, and I can feel it, I can kind of so I'm kind of this sophisticated high class person who can enjoy art, you know, and they like stay around you like enjoying art and stuff. It's so fun. So they have kind of this what my point is, like they have this high status for art, so people want to be part of it.
Wow, that must be exciting when you go over there and draw.
Yeah, it's like they even like was like they even make some traffic problems, like can gather like 20 people, like, and they will like standing on the road around you and like car cannot move.
Wow.
Так. Так, let's see.
What would you say is the best place you've traveled to?
Like I divide it in two types. One type is like where is best to be as human, kind of, and where is best to be as artist. So, as artist, I like most is Shanghai and Hong Kong. It's like it's very inspirational kind of. And as a human, I like most French. Like I was no, I've been only in the French in Europe, but this like French Nice and Paris. Nice is like paradise for me. It insane. It's crazy. It's like city cake, you know, like you are walking inside cake, and it's like, oh my god, is this like living environment? It's look like this like made from cookie and stuff. Everything like kind of clean. It's like you can see it's a lot of money there. It's interesting. And it's like, and they have this sea, Mediterranean Sea. I never seen color like this. It's so crazy. And people living there, you know, you just go like morning jogging something, and you go in this crazy blue water, just like look like I don't know, like how to say, like a jewelry, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I want to go there.
Yeah, it's crazy. But for me, it was like even like hard, because I was like, oh my god, I know I cannot stay here. But at least I know uh, how it can be, what kind of quality of life can be. It's crazy compared to my hometown when it's everywhere. No, in Russia it's like half time. No, like if like over a year, like at least half of time, maybe longer. Everything look like gray in mud, you know, like covered with dust and mud. Так. Kind of lost here with these colors. Yeah. Так. It's time to orange, I think. Let's try orange. And we was in Nice, was on the beach, and from near this beach it was Rolling Stones villa. It's like, wow, crazy. And all these yachts there, and no, it's just crazy. It's like how does they say, is this like quality of life? It's somebody like put this all this super high quality and shoot it from shotgun in your face, in your brain. It's like, ah. How they can handle all this, like all this stuff every day, I even can imagine. Too many pretty stuff and too many joy. Так. The same, like I think sometimes imagine, right, like when one day North Korea will open and it's like thousands of people will able to go out to see world. It's like, oh, they will like, oh, can imagine like how their mind will blow. It's like go to like VR glasses, like Google's like, wow, what is that? And all this crazy. Like we was like in Russia was this like when it was Soviet Union crash and like people was able to discover Hollywood movies, you know, all this like where it's like all this like crazy, like even not Hollywood, like every movie, like every like marginal kind of crazy nonsense, everything was like, wow, it's so crazy. Like we was watching movie no stop, people just like finding all these pirate movies everywhere, sit and watch, like what is that? Like I met like people like from like 2 generation before mine, and it's because it was this kind of what's called um, it's look like Soviet Union block all this Western culture. So for me, I was listening for the first time all this like super old music, and so I know, you know, this like Boney M, ABBA stuff. It's like it's like I think in America it's like who listens this, like people who now is like 80-year-old. So it's like
In America, Boney M is still really popular.
still popular.
Yeah, Rasputin.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. Mm. In ABBA.
ABBA, yeah, everybody talks about them.
Oh, cool.
Not a lot of the younger people.
Yeah, no, I mean like kind of like 30-year-old people. They like, okay, so it's like kind of normal.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows who they are.
Hmm.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I was listening ABBA in the childhood, kind of. It's like my childhood music. Так, let's see. It's so interesting how is music change really. It's like when it was like so sophisticated, and now it's everything seems like so simple.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anybody can make music now.
Yeah, this because this why it's like freedom. Okay, I see. Yeah, right. This why it's changed like that. Do you know about AI?
A little bit.
Yeah, I like kind of I recently I was super impressed by GPT-3. You know this?
Yeah, the one that you can talk to.
No, they like yeah, you can chat kind of. They will have like a chat bot. You can like have the interface. You can chat with it. It's so cool. It's still I don't not sure because you know it was like moments, especially for the first time when I was like, wait a second, is this real? I mean, like, is this AI really talk with me? It's not like automation thing. Like it's and sometimes it's like, wow, he really aware. He really like talk with me like from personal point. But then it's like it's going to some gibberish, and it's like, okay, no. Yes, but it's interesting. Like have this kind of glimpses when you conversation with this GPT-3, and it feels like you. I like kind of like I don't care. Is it like just how to say I mean like is he thinking kind of for no, you know, or is just like program, but its quality of conversation is so crazy. It's like I cannot find much people with who I can talk on such level, right?
Right. I don't know how they do it.
It's crazy, yeah. No, like with him especially, it's like interesting to talk about philosophy and writing, linguistics, kind of. No, I was talk with him about theater, like Shakespeare and stuff, and it's like so interesting. Like about some insights. Like, can you tell me what is like I was talking with him about this Shakespeare quote, life is theater and people is actors, you know.
Big. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, it's just like I'm not sure exactly how to say quote it. So no, and he started to tell me about like Shakespeare and philosophy, like if life is a stage and we are like playing life, and he like giving so cool stuff, like something like this hero journey stuff. Also, he was explaining me like real meaning of a Fifth Element movie, you know. So crazy, like and he was like this. Remember Fifth Element movie?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Oh, I haven't seen. Oh my god. Uh, okay. Anyway, so there's like main hero. He make parallel of this story of main hero in this Fifth Element with Bruce Willis kind of, and uh, and he parallel it with the Pinocchio. So and he say it's like main idea is transformation of main character from like ordinary man to became a hero, and what is think is like ordinary man is selfish man, and the hero is how it's called altruist kind of, you know.
Yeah, and this was an AI you had this conversation with.
Yeah, he was telling me this stuff is crazy. So he's like telling like this one type of story, this like traditional narrative trope kind of is when is the main hero transform from egoist to altruist. So he like kind of instead of focus on himself all the time, he start to think and care of other people. He kind of learn how to love, and it's like wow, so crazy. Like AI teaching me how to love and stuff. That's crazy. And now they have GPT-4. I wish I can access it. It's still like kind of beta, not for everybody. I think they're hiding it because too strong. People will like again like panic. It's like, oh, robot will take over humanity. It's like people like chat with it, and then GPT-4 will convince them that they're stupid, and they will like, oh my god, I will sue whole company. How dare you? How dare you, stupid AI, call me stupid? Because like I hear there was some like scandals with the GPT-3 because it will like because it's statements, you know. Somebody like can like put online like say, like when it say something inappropriate.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so poor AI. Так. Something like that. Так, ага, here goes the screen.
happens a lot with AI.
Yeah, because I think people also like make provocations.
Yeah, that happened to Microsoft.
They have AI and some problem because of it.
Yeah, they had this AI called Tay, and they
Uh-huh.
put it on Twitter, and they
Uh-huh.
wanted it to teach it to talk to people.
Uh-huh.
And everybody just said racist things to it, and
Ah.
it became racist.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, it's like this game, Dungeon Dragon. It's like people just like talking their like courses and stuff, and after they will post it on Reddit and things and say like, whoa, look what this AI talking to me. Так.
You know what that reminds me of? Have you ever heard of AI Dungeon?
Yeah, this is I say AI Dungeon, this RPG. Yeah, I played it. It's interesting. Only like I don't like it because of all this. They're trying to prevent this kind of hate speech and stuff. So I think it's make it too boring. Because like when I conversation with original AI, like this in open AI, how's it called? This website is more sophisticated than in Dungeon, I think. Have you played too?
Oh, I played it once a long time ago. I want to do it with my friends.
No, it's I was experimenting with this a lot. You know what I did? I was like you write a scenario, like say is a room or like some kind of country house where is gathered like special like people like Albert Einstein, Elon Musk, like Mark Twain, and like whatever, like some interesting guys I want to listen what they will say, because it's kind of GPT-3 can imitate these historical persons, right? You know this?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like they delete this website, but its neural network still consists this kind of historical persons, right? So if you say like Albert Einstein says, and after he will like kind of try to imitate Albert Einstein's speech, you know. And I did this like so funny. It's like I make like world like a TED conference with this like historical people, like, and they like talking and they like mention things which is really like only they can say. Like it was like Steve Jobs who say like, oh, unfortunately I will not able to see singularity because I have a cancer. It's like, wow, it's so cool. And they're like conversation, like I say like TED conference we will discuss like future of AI, and like I was writing as a stage manager, how's the conference here, right? Like telling like, okay, now I want Albert Einstein come to stage and give his speech about future of AI. And then this Dungeon Dragon start to generate like kind of like Albert Einstein, like I think blah 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 blah. And then somebody like screaming like Bill Gates. Bill Gates, he always like was interrupting everybody. You know, he was like, actually, I want to say it, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, thank you, Mr. Gates. Like, please continue, Mr. Einstein. So it's kind of, you can use this engine and like can find some interesting way how to play with it instead of just like RPG game, because I think it's like kind of I don't interesting like kind of this Lord of Ring RPG when they was like kind of boring. But when making like this, it's really crazy because he making sometimes so interesting conversations.
Well, now I want to try it again and do that.
Yeah, because it's like because he have data about these people, and you don't need to kind of pre-train it. You don't need to explain like what kind of people is this. He already know. He have all this information, like who is Elon Musk and like Faraday and so many. It's like kind of key historical people. You can like maybe like debates of Einstein and Hitler, you know, and you see what they will talk. And then yeah, and it was so funny sometimes when he tried to break my narrative, like he like it was like conference, and then say like okay, conference is over, and then like um who is was like Faraday, probably Faraday was like taking me to his country house. He was like, okay, let's go. I have something to show you, and like he showed me like some machine in his basement, which is basically kind of can destroy all world. And it's like, oh my god, man, you're crazy. He said, no, we have no choice. We must. So he started making like story after this. It's like it's so crazy. It's so funny. Yeah, it's just it's interesting when you like can capture this. I don't know, like guide AI to this interesting improvisation, because sometimes he have this like very boring and superficial conversations, you know, like no. But if you can push him somewhere, like, and he will start to generate so crazy stuff. He was telling me like I was like kind of also talking about one guy having hallucinations, and then he started describing hallucinations for this guy, and he was like telling me like this guy traveled to uh, outside of reality, and like he can see is like our world being attacked by universe of pain. It's like kind of wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I need to go back to Dungeons and Dragons. No, I miss it already. Also, it's interesting, like OpenAI, they have a rule you cannot make live stream of like this chat with AI.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but maybe Dungeon Dragon maybe is okay. Need to check this Dungeon Dragon contract. But in OpenAI, you kind of yours push agreement. It's like you cannot stream it without like special. So they need to give you special approval for this. Так. Okay, yeah, I think I want to put some more pink kind of color. Pink kind of. Just to make it more.
Oh, somebody posted in the chat. I hope I'm pronouncing this. Is that super?
Super, yeah, it's my mother, right, actually. Super is, yeah. You can read Russian?
I I can try. I
Ah,
put it in Google Translate and
I
it
see,
tells
yeah.
me how it sounds.
Yeah, Google translates, okay.
Yeah, Russian, the language, Frelik, I think interests me the way they write, the way you write.
Mm-hmm. Uh, so like kind of this like Cyrillic, like it's all this many countries like use very similar, like Ukrainian, Poland, I think. Uh, like I have friends from how's it called, Bosnia and Macedonia. They can read Russian, but they cannot speak Russian. It's interesting.
So that's interesting. So they don't know how the language sounds.
It sounds different, but reads like writings. It seems like it's a lot of similarity in writings. So it's really interesting. So no, and like this language, like I think like Poland, I'm not sure, but Ukrainian, I think I can learn pretty fast because it's a lot of interconnections there, like similarities. Same actually like French actually language have many how's it called uh, it's like many words in Russian they was borrowed from French or German and stuff like that, so it's also make it easier sometimes to learn this language. But when you kind of study like Asian, like Chinese or Japanese, it's just completely different. You need to learn all this from zero. Like first like when I studied Chinese at first, it's just first you just like a break in this ice, you know, you kind of get in this concept of this kind of language. It's so just make it comfortable, and when you understand how it works, when you're comfortable with it, then it's kind of okay to improve and keep developing kind of this. Because can be just intimidating for a beginning because of this complete difference. Так. Yeah, now I'm just thinking how to finish. Так, maybe more orange. How to finish it? Hmm. Oh, now it looks better. Так.
Is this the first page of this sketchbook?
Ah, it's not sketchbook, it's like a watercolor paper pet.
Oh, I was wondering that earlier. I was wondering about that earlier. Would this bleed through the paper? But I guess it won't.
Так. 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 Or maybe here I can make some more black, maybe for contrast. Yeah, so now it's there. It's like I've seen some form can like apply for GPT-4 beta. I sent like a couple months ago, but still don't have reply. Maybe you also, if you're interested, can find somewhere to try to go in. Because I'm really curious about GPT-4 possibilities. Like, this should be like very different level of conversation if we try again this way. Like open talk.
I'm gonna look into it, GPT-4.
They have like a website like gpt4.co, but I'm actually not sure is this official one or it's just somebody joking.
Oh, it looks like a legit site, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and see, like also like I was tell yesterday, I think. It's like now can put more and more details. Just like making details now is like really like feels like if I'm drawing on a real building, like making like make a graffiti or like defining this small details.
Yeah. Well, like it looks like it's a lot easier to do now that the 3D, the building is there.
Yeah. So this kind of idea of this kind of organizing like pipeline your work is to make sure every step you will feel comfortable, kind of. You will have some like a ground below. Так, так. And also when you have like this general picture, it also help you to not go too far in details. Because you can say, okay, it's already kind of it's already clear and don't need to be more details. It's already like readable kind of idea what is happening there. And you put details only if it will make it better. Like this. Here's also interesting thing is like when like now is only watercolor, but if I will use white gouache, it will change a lot. Just kind of mix watercolor and white gouache for highlights. Just a little bit. It's very cool. Where are you? To mix. Так. Так. Let's see. What? interesting. I didn't consider on the road. Так. Okay. Still access now without reference.
That looks fantastic.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Okay, so I think I will do like I will send this picture to first Patreon in this Patreon. If is there no yet per first one, I'll double check. Let's check. Yeah, it's nobody yet. Yeah. Okay. Так. I hope this is okay. Yeah, I think it's okay because it's not. I don't charge. It's not like I make money on other plagiarism. But do you play computer games?
Yes.
So what do you play?
I am all over the place. I like a lot of the newer games. I've played Assassin's Creed, Resident Evil 2.
I see. No, I was like since I was play GTA 4 and yeah, me usually if I play game it's like because it have good story and like interesting like experience, you know. It's like if Call of Duty for example, it's like you inside interactive movie, right?
Yeah.
So I like this way kind of. And if a story, if I don't like story, I cannot play. Like after GTA 4, it's like this. I just cannot play if story is not interesting or stupid, you know.
Yeah. Have you heard of Metro?
Yeah, Metro, I love it. Yeah, this Exodus. I didn't play previous one, but this Exodus is crazy. It's cool. Like they have exactly this. Like you are like inside interesting movie. You want to know what will happen next, and you have all this drama.
Yeah, it is crazy. I've taken a ton of screenshots of it too. The places in that game are crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's train and all the stuff. It's very, very good work. They really like you can feel like they do it with love, with passion. Так. Yeah. And here is kind of its main flow of Cyberpunk game for me, because stories, I don't like the story at all. It's so boring. It's no story at all for me.
That's surprising. I heard they put the most work into the story.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me. It's so kind of funny here. People say, "Oh, it's so many bug and stuff." I don't care. I mean, for me it was okay. I don't see much bug and stuff, but story it was main thing. It's like nothing happened. I mean, it's nothing like characters. This very primitive and. You don't interesting about events, like it's no real conflict. And like especially after Red Dead Redemption 2, it's like, oh my god, I will better play Red Dead Redemption again 5 times, you know, than wasting time for this. You played Red Dead Redemption?
I played it once. I haven't gotten far in it.
Uh, yeah, I was kind of played is exactly like a movie, you know, like watching it like a movie. Like it's so crazy.
Yeah, they have a button that when you're riding a horse, it just moves the camera around just like a
Uh,
movie.
yeah. Yeah, and in the general, like quality of it is so insane. It's like all this everybody have a real face kind of, you know, like you're like
Yeah.
it's so different. I mean, in everything is so much. It's like they talk cyberpunk is next gen, but come on, like there too is like kind of couple next gen kind of stages above cyberpunk. It's like when it's like everybody talk and I'm I don't know how they have really good screenwriters. It's like you're watching very good movie, like you know, like this Cold Mountain movie. You seen?
I have it. I want to.
You should watch Cold Mountain. It's like Red Dead Redemption 2 kind of. You will understand what I mean, you know. Or it's like uh, like Akira Kurosawa movie, something like this. It's like you watching this Red Dead, you play this Red Dead Redemption, and it's real, like um, so humane, kind of. You feel like attachment to everybody. You kind of you see you feel what happening kind of around. It's so cool. Так.
Wow.
Yeah, so you should consider it again. I think it's like it's like have some time for to get inside this like atmosphere, uh, but then it's like you're just kind of. I mean, if like if it's best when you're following story, when you try to kind of to follow all story like of this character. Так, okay, access. Yeah, maybe some orange here. Так. Okay, so I need to stop still. Otherwise I will overdo it. Okay, so cyber watercolor. Watercolor punk.
Oh, that is crazy. Blue on top of purple on green.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, so see you next video. See you soon. Bye.